My guest today is Mary with Empower You. Mary, welcome to the 605 Running Company YouTube page, talking about the Sioux Falls Skedaddle.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, so I always like to start, give us a little bit of background. Tell our viewers who you are and why are you here on this channel today?
Yeah, right. So a little bit about myself. I am from just across the border in Iowa, Rock Rapids, Iowa. But I am a physical therapist now here in Sioux Falls with Empower You Physical Therapy. We are a cash-based physical therapy and performance company. Our company was started back in 2022 with the founder and creator mastermind of Nathan Lemaster. And then we've grown to where Tyler Anderson joined, and he's part owner as well. And I joined the team about 8 months ago, which is crazy. But yeah, so we are, like I said, performance physical therapists. We are affiliated with gyms within the Sioux Falls area. So that's actually where we treat out of. And we're, yeah, that's kind of where we're at as far as like within our company and our model, and partnering up with 605 too. So
Yeah. So we've been able to partner on a lot of really cool events, and I just love the philosophy at Empower You. But there's a little bit to unpack there. So when you say cash only, what do you mean there for starters? When physical therapy and cash, explain that to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So cash-based physical therapy. So we're not in the insurance world of things. When we're talking about cash-based, it's cash, check, HSA, FSA, but we're not with insurance, and we're not affiliated with any, more health, higher end companies like Stanford and Avera as the big ones within Sioux Falls. So we are totally individual from insurance, but that itself is what makes us a little bit more unique. And we definitely are able to do things more creatively and work with our clients in a way that is unique as far as our treatment plans. So that includes, working with clients on a one-to-one hourly basis. And we're able to create those plans that aren't limited by insurance or within certain health systems as well. So that's a really unique and awesome feature as far as what we can do to work with our clients that way.
Definitely. That's a very South Dakota thing, that independence and that freedom to be able to sort of do it your way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So physical therapy in the world of running, sports-based, there's a ton to unpack there as well. So why do we need physical therapy? I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, but give me some examples, or our audience some examples of what would happen. Why would we need to reach out to Empower You? What's that scenario look like, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we work with a lot of fitness enthusiasts, whether, like I'll give an example with runners. We see a lot of runners, and what that can look like is a variation of ways. But yes, if you're going through training, you're going through your goals of performing for a race, aches, injuries, they happen, they pop up. Okay. So a primary reason for it to come see us is, yes, for the injury itself. Okay. Which is fun. And we, work with injuries in rehab. But another wonderful reason, and what makes us a little bit unique too, is that we see clients who want to perform better. So we are, as physical therapists, we're able to use our skills with hands-on techniques, exercise, dry needling, those same types of techniques that we use for more injury rehab, also for performance goals as well. So an individual that maybe is, running 5Ks, 10Ks, and they're like, you know what, I want to take it to the next level. I'm ready to go for this half marathon. What can I do to get my body to the best capacity to make that goal? That's where we have people come to us, and we do a full body assessment with them. And I'll go through their gaits. I'll go through what limitations they might have as far as their mobility and strength. And that's what we work on as well on the performance side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the understanding your body and being able to function throughout activity and stay in activity. So, so many times in my world, we have folks that come and I'm injured and now I'm out. And I think the real goal, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm misunderstanding this, but really Empower You is all about let's not be injured. Let's stay strong so that we can continue to compete. And if those come up, we can manage them and we can correct them so that they don't happen. It's just as much preventing as it is treating an actual injury.
Absolutely, 100%. So yes, when we get those clients that come to us and they want to either perform better or even know how to move and run better, that just brings a smile right to our face, because it's important for our value is for preventing and making you move better, but seeing that within the client and they kind of getting that as well, that's what we're all about, is enhancing and performance outside of just having an injury and getting it fixed.
Sure. And this is an area where we've really come into great alignment between 605 Running Company and Empower You. Is really our philosophies really line up quite a bit, because we have people that want shoes as like prescriptions to fix injuries, and this is really just not the case. And so that's where our partnerships come in really, really handy, is keep people running and keep people running in a healthy way, right? So running is such a straight plane motion and your body moves in 360 degrees. And as much as runners hate to hear it, there is more to life than running. And if you want to stay healthy, if you want to stay in the game, and if you want to compete at your highest level, you have to train your whole body, and you have to really be good at that. And that's where we've had such great success partnering up, because Empower You is really, really good at that part of understanding the whole body, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's one thing. It's really interesting as far as our take on seeing clients. People might come in with a injury or discomfort kind of down into the foot, and we could work the foot and ankle all day, but if we're not looking at the entire body, starting from the hip down and looking at stride length or cadence and just running technique, that's where that enhancement and that performance comes in, as far as getting you better and keeping you feeling better, where these occurrence and injuries could pop up again. But that's where we're taking it to the next level.
Absolutely. Understanding our body is connected, like everything is tied in together, that you can't just focus on one thing. And that's where I think runners often get hung up, as they just focus on one motion, on one discipline, and really our bodies, just like our training, has to be fully connected. So yes. Good stuff. Tell me about some of the treatment options, some of the things that happen. You kind of mentioned that whole body assessment. What are some of the other tools? What does a session look like? Unpack some of that for me, Mary.
Yeah, absolutely. So Empower You Performance Physical Therapy, what the heck does that look like? So initially that first day with clients, it's a lot of sitting down, listening, communicating with the client. That is foremost the most important part, with getting together with a person and hearing their story of what they want or what's going on, and then developing that plan as far as, okay, here is what X, Y, and Z to get you better. Now, that being said, as far as interventions go and things that we do to help with dysfunction, I mentioned the dry needling is a intervention that all of us therapists, all 3 therapists of us at Empower You do utilize. We're certified in dry needling. And that is a very effective treatment that we use for pain, but also helping with muscular dysfunction. So have you ever had a knot, Greg, in your neck or in your calf, maybe?
I have. Well, first of all, I'm guilty of being a runner. So all of the things that I was talking about, I can talk about them because I've done them. And I'm also guilty of carrying around my 2-year-old and on one arm, like right. all the time, in the same arm. Yeah. So yes, knots in every single spot you just mentioned. Guilty.
Yes. So those knots, yeah, what they do, one, they cause discomfort and pain, but also they don't allow your muscular system to fire and support your body as needed. So with dry needling, the needling itself goes into those tight knots. In the physical therapy world, we call them trigger points. But with that, we get those guys to release, and those knots start to release that way and reduce tension. So we use it for pain. We also use it for just having your body and muscular system to function better as well. And you get better quality efficiency within the muscular itself. Within our Empower You sessions too, we value hands-on work, manual therapy skills. All of us have gone through training of specific manual therapy with Nathan. He actually does continuing education with manual therapy. So we're really honed in on good quality manual therapy skills for specifically getting joints moving better, more effectively, to help reduce stress in the body and also to help with discomfort and pain as well. So dry needling, I mentioned, hands-on work, manual therapy, and then you always, always, always have to supplement that with a couple movement therapeutic exercises. And this is all individualized for the client and the dysfunction that we have at hand. So like within our practice, we typically have like the big three, is what we call it. 3 home exercises, something that is efficient, doesn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes of your day, to really just supplement what we do within our sessions to help with your effectiveness of your care and quality of movement. And that is what we ask for homework. That is, it's an important part, because we can do so much for the client itself, but it does take that extra little 5 to 10 minutes, maybe of your time, that can be easily added into your, whether it's a workout routine or your warm up or cool down for running as well into the day. So that's what you can expect with Empower You physical therapy visit there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And again, this is where we sort of align a lot of times with the running shop and with Empower You, you know, because everything we look at is based off of movement, right? You're doing an activity. So, you know, if you're looking for treatment options or therapy options, you know, you're not going to be successful just sitting and hoping for someone to come fix you, just like you're not going to be successful waiting for a shoe to be a corrective tool within that movement. There's so much more to that process. And so I think, you know, that's where I've appreciated the partnership that we've had and how we come to like a half marathon, the Sioux Falls Skedaddle. So tell me a little bit about Empower You's partnership in terms of the Skedaddle and you know, a half marathon. What does that look like, and what does that mean to Empower You to be a part of the event?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So we love being able to be a sponsor of the Skedaddle. Right now, you know, also having those classes with you, Greg, too, to get runners prepped up and ready to go for the Skedaddle, whether you're totally fresh to running or, you know, have ran half marathons and marathons prior to, but just being able to tap into the community. And that's an important value of Empower You, whether it is, you know, the running community with 605 and Skedaddle, but being able to provide our services and help people achieve their goals is what we want to do to give back to the community and support these events that are, you know, health and wellness for the Sioux Falls area. So it's really truly an honor to be a sponsor and to partner up with you and to continue to build the, you know, health and wellness of our community and growing the running population and passion for running and what it can do for everyone in different ways. So
sure. So it's the family that comes to Skedaddle. They might meet you guys, and so say mom is the runner of the family and dad plays, you know, church softball, and the kids are in, you know, cheer, gymnastics, or swim team. All of those things are very active things. Do you think Empower You could help everyone in that scenario?
Absolutely. The answer is yes. There's, usually with every type of fitness activities, as far as enhancing movement for all those, it looks a little bit different, right? From the runner to the gymnastics to the softball, and age there too. There's a difference there. But yes, what we do, I'm not going to treat, my runner the same as a, father that's playing recreational softball. There's going to be a difference, and it's all about making sure that we look at those specific activities and tailor it to each individual that way. So for runners, for example, I might work a lot more on, stride length, posterior chain, glutes, hammies, strengthening, where gymnasts, obviously flexibility is very important to have. So their care and what they get from us is going to look different, but there's ways to enhance both of those types of activities and movements quality for each individual.
Definitely. Well worth the whole family checking out Empower
Yes.
You, making sure they understand what's available to them. I also like that you talk about, a plan. So as a running coach, we're always, what's the plan? What's the plan look like? So training for a half marathon, we could be looking at like a 16-week training plan. How does physical therapy, what does a plan look like? Or what should you be thinking about? And what am I getting into if I want to perform at my highest level? How often should I be seeing you, Mary? And again, just that whole series of events, what's that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll kind of demonstrate is, if someone's coming in initially, let's say there is some dysfunction, there's some area that maybe there's pain, maybe there's not, but hey, we need to clear this hip dysfunction out in order for you to perform better and train better for your event. So I'm going to see a client weekly basis for, usually that takes around 6 weeks, okay, give or take, to really clear up, one, if there's any pain and dysfunction with pain, and then two, the mechanical dysfunctions itself. From there, we might be reducing frequency. The body's moving better. You're feeling, the runner's feeling good. From there, as far as frequency goes, we might back down then to every 2 weeks. And that's more of a, maintenance and making sure the body's moving better. We're still feeling good, but also naturally with any training, we typically develop aches and discomforts and soreness along the way. And then that's being proactive though. If things pop up, little things like that, where say I was first working on like I said, the hip dysfunction, and I'm like, oh, you know what? My calf's just been a little bit sore. Get on top of that right away. Let's take care of that and have a session where we maybe focus on within that calf area as needed. But typically they line up as far as areas of the body where we might have a hip dysfunction but having some discomfort down distally into the calf. But that is more or less how the frequency goes with those with the visits itself. Now, what we're doing within those visits is progressing mobility and progressing strengthening to enhance your training and your performance. So initially, I'm giving strengthening exercises for where I see more weaknesses or imbalances, which is good, but we need to continue progressing the strengthening. So I might be having an individual working on hip strength with doing bridges and more kind of lying down exercises first, but they're runners, we're upright, we're on our feet. So we need to progress that strengthening to more of a specific training and specific tasks. So that's when I get into a little bit more weight bearing, where single leg strengthening and some little bit of squatting work. But that's what it looks like as far as the plan and progressing more to enhance your quality of movement for their specific training and tasks at hand.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, there's there's like healthy soreness, and then there's injury.
Right.
Yeah. And, you know, when we think about training for a half marathon, that healthy soreness, that's going to happen throughout a training cycle, but we want it to be fun and exciting. And so that pain in the calf, you know, that just won't go away, or plantar fasciitis, or some of those things, that's really where you can kind of come into play and help us identify, like, is this normal soreness, or is this something we really need to take a look at? It's really good to stay on top of that. And that's, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, again, where I think Empower You really comes into play, and where it's well worth your time and ultimately your money to stay on top of that and incorporate that as part of your plan.
Yes, 100%. That is the performance enhancing side of what we do.
Sure. And, you know, we've been able to do a lot of work together, and I think we would agree with this. You know, athlete is a term that we like to use, and that is for anyone that wants to, like if you're going to run a half marathon, you're going to have to be an athlete, whether you identify it that way right now or not. It's 13.1 miles. That's a huge undertaking, and it's a big deal. So yeah, get in that mindset, in that frame of, you know, we're going to go out and there's going to be training involved. This isn't a weekend warrior sort of project. Like, you have to invest that time and energy to do it well, so that you don't hurt yourself. And you can enjoy it, because it really is an enjoyable experience.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone that comes to the door, no matter what their, you know, background is, we treat everyone as athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important, because that just enhances, that's quality movement integration. For sure.
So parting words as we get ready to end our conversation here, Mary, what, for folks that are thinking about Skedaddle, maybe on the fence, what would you say to them? And then for folks that have taken the plunge and are running Skedaddle, you know, two separate conversations. How do you convince people to sign up? And then what do you have for folks that are already signed up?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those that are thinking about it, not sure if they want to or not, do it. And the reason why is, you know, there's tools out there, and the tools of 605 coaching, running, you have experts that know how to get your body into that training process and have you prepared for that race day. And then on the other side of things too, there's also, you know, Empower You. We're here to help. We're here to, like we talked about, enhancing, prepping your body, making sure that your movement and your quality of movement and running is there. We do a full body prep to see, okay, what do we need to work on to get you to your full potential? That is in the conversation between both 605, Empower You, and other wellness aspects as well. We're all here as a team, and having that team for any sort of goal that you ever have in life is important to have those supporting values next to you.
Good
so
stuff.
that would be my yes answer to those that are on the fence, not quite sure. There's plenty of resources and help out there to get you through.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have a whole community behind you.
Exactly.
And really, that's when it comes down to it, you know, we've learned so much in the last couple of years about how important healthy communities are. And that's what we're all about. So really, really a great message, Mary. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today. And we'll see you at Skedaddle.
Yeah, that sounds great.